Welcome to episode 10 of Fables from the Pickled Quipper. I am your host and master of dungeons, Phil. Today we pick up back in, what should we call it, the Undercroft, the Catacombs, underneath the shrine on Boffin's Tor. So, sit back, relax, enjoy. First of all, session 10, everybody.
Woo woo!
Hooray.
So, where last we left off, your group, who has no name, agreed, after speaking with Kelly, agreed to go clear out Boffin's Tor, an old temple that had apparently come under the stench of undeath. You entered, were briefly set upon by a flame skull who tried to wipe you all out and came pretty close. And then you bravely battled on without taking a rest, continued down into the sort of the catacombs, I guess, if you will. Was it Bardor who rolled like a 23 on the perception check and found the secret passage? You wandered in, stumbled upon an undead necromancer called Grogmere the Rotting. Well, you're not quite sure what he was doing, but mid-ritual, he was able to bring forth several skeletons to try and aid him, but eventually you fought them all down. Yeah, so right now you're in the aftermath. Maybe 5 minutes since Grogmere fell.
Did we? I feel like we discussed maybe even in character that we needed to go back, right?
To seek holy water? To
Yeah,
come back
to
to
seek-
cleanse this place?
Yeah.
I think holy water and resting.
Ceremony, yeah, because I need to be able to prep ceremony.
And you know that you have less than an hour before that flame skull puts himself back together again.
You don't look that good.
Does the puddle of blood give it away?
A subtle hint.
A nap would help, maybe.
Yeah, I agree. And the flame skull, even if we had to fight on the way back, I mean, we can be a little more prepared for giant balls of fire.
Goodness gracious. Giant balls of fire.
So I suppose we make our way out, take a rest, and head back to town. Should we find it safe to rest in the woods outside?
I mean, I don't know if there's any undead outside or not.
Wasn't there a weird vibe?
And I thought they made mention things in the woods.
There were things in the woods, but there was an ominous look to the woods even. Wasn't there?
Yes.
I would fear going in for a rest.
Not that I like the option. We could barricade ourselves into a room. The one with the coffin had but one entrance, which is both a positive and a negative.
I feel pretty good, so I could keep watch if we want to just sort of camp just outside the tower. Maybe just a little down the hill. I believe there were a few sort of scattered trees around. We could maybe just pop down there. I'll happily keep watch while people rest.
I mean, that's fine. That was my thought. I didn't think we were going to go too far in the woods at this time.
Yeah, I am fond of woods, but they're a little creepy.
Well, we want to go back to town to get the holy water, right? And long rest.
Yeah,
But maybe we could short rest before the long journey, just in case.
yeah.
Yeah. I think that would be wise.
Well, let's. If everybody's done looking around for the moment, shall we head on out?
So, which way are you heading?
The exact same way we came in.
Yes.
Yes, not a new hallway.
No new exploration.
Let's take
Okay.
the shortcut.
Who's leading the way?
I guess I can lead. I'm pretty healthy
Yeah,
comparatively.
I probably shouldn't this time.
Okay. Yeah, if you will move yourself and just make a general perception check as you go.
I'll move with an element of caution, but knowing who's behind me, I will just not worry about being super quiet, just sort of cautious.
That's really rude, but okay.
That's gonna be a 15.
Okay. And so you're able to navigate back through the two secret doors, go past the room where you found the coffin that you think may have actually been Grogmere's, come back out to the room with the stairs, that barrier is still present. The weird, like, multicolored barrier that you saw before. And then there's still 2 closed doors leading off in other directions. Take a second to sort of listen while the group catches up. Maybe some faint sort of clunks or other noises coming from somewhere. It's a little hard to place the exact location, but you feel
It doesn't
confident
feel
that
like it's above us, right?
No.
Okay.
You don't hear anything coming from up the stairs, and you get the feeling that there's still definitely things that need to be dealt with here before you can confidently say that the tour is clear.
My plan was to head up to the top floor, and head out. Probably go rest down by the sort of grouping of trees close by. People are
Okay,
with
just
that. So
like
stay
in that
pretty
bottom
close.
left corner of the map there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, we could get a little further. Do we? No, we need to not go too far in case Bardo gets shot.
In case a bird poops on him and kills him.
Yeah.
These things are possible.
Harsh but fair.
I'm gonna go in between a couple trees and just drop my gear and go immediately to sleep.
Okay, and I mean it's probably late afternoon, early evening at this point. I think. Yeah, go ahead, roll hit dice as needed, and Eska, go ahead and make another perception check.
Alrighty. That is going to be a 13.
After about 15 minutes or so, sorry, 50 minutes or so, Bardor's pretty much just passed out next to you. Everyone else is kind of just resting and recuperating. You hear from inside the walls cackling of the flame skull. It seems to have rejuvenated itself. Obviously, it's quite muffled, but you can just sort of vaguely hear it sort of emerging from inside.
I up my watch on it, but I assume nothing's going to pop out.
Nothing seems to right now. Hour passes. Everyone is able to regain hit dice without any issues. What do you want to do?
Head to town, I think.
I shake Barter awake.
Yeah. No, you're awake and with it.
He wakes up, nobody's with him.
Yeah.
This would be the ideal time for a prank where we just take him inside, drop him down, and then wake him up to wake up by the flaming skull. It's a perfect opportunity.
Create an illusion of
we-
a skull above him and be like,
We
Barter!
could, yeah,
Nothing to
Like when
wake
you're
somebody up
passenger in the
like
car.
deck saves.
yeah.
Wow. You guys are mean. So, you head back to town? Yes?
Yeah.
Yes, I believe so.
By the time you get back there, it's probably going to be... it'll be close to midnight, I would think, by the time you're getting back.
En route,
Yeah.
I am just going to sidle up to Silverius, nod to him,
Nod back.
and I will cast Detect Thoughts using Subtle Spell. And I'm not going to go deep. I'm going to go surface.
This feels very shoe on the other foot, Rich.
Yeah, it's about time I detected your thoughts for once. It's the only reason I chose this character was purely to get this Detect Thoughts in.
Do you use components?
No, I use an Arcane Focus. It's the amulet, so I would just subtly sort of,
Mhm.
very. I mean, I would sort of touch it, but in a very nonchalant kind of, not grasping it, but just sort of
Yeah.
like absent-mindedly, because I do that a lot anyway.
Make a sleight of hand.
Alrighty. Would it help if I knew I had to do this? I would probably do it before I got up to him. I'd
Alright,
probably do it as I
make it
was
with
still behind him.
advantage.
Okay. It's gonna be. Oh wow, it was bad. 11.
Oh,
Given that you weren't next to him, I think, Silvarius, you'd probably notice that Eska kind of moves her hand, but I don't think you'd necessarily pick up any more than that. Just as she's kind of approaching.
One
Yeah.
of my natural, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, habitual things I do
Like a tick?
is just sort of, is sort of twiddle it in my fingers anyway.
Yeah.
I
You
felt
probably
like
wouldn't think much of it.
Yeah, you're getting Eska's reading across your mind from Savarius. It's more of a curious. What does she want?
Can I help you?
So she says, I feel I owe you a bit of an apology for my mistrust.
You can tell and hear Silvarius at the same time.
Go on.
I just wanted to try and put it behind us because we need to be able to work together. You're hard to read, and it made me suspicious, but we need to work together to survive. So just wanted to bury the hatchet.
You get the sense of he's surprised by this, and he doesn't fully know if he trusts this exactly. But you also get the sense of agreement on the needing to work together.
So then she
Curiosity,
carry on.
and return curiosity still. It's just because he's trying to figure you out as well.
She says, so what do you think of our little group? Do you trust everybody else? You feel like we have a secure partnership here?
I see potential in this lot.
And as he's speaking, it's all kind of like mix mashing with what he's saying. He's not trying to hide any of this to you.
In the short amount of time that we have been together, I don't get the sense of mistrust or maleficent desires or acts. Cosette, she surprised me for appearing so inexperienced. Her capabilities are impressive. Bardur shows signs of familiarity with battle. Claire, she seems young, but I've already seen her perform acts no typical cleric can perform. Curious about her.
Yes, it's interesting. You very much focus on their abilities, don't you? Do you worry about character? Is that something that concerns you with people, or are you purely focused on martial ability? I mean that not as a slight. I'm just curious, as that was the first thing you honed in on.
First, one must recognize our potential. Something I pick up on first.
I guess that's maybe one way we differ. I look more to the heart first and ability second.
The heart can be weak. The heart can get you killed. Your abilities will carry you as far as they can. Should they fail you?
If you don't mind me asking, do you fear your heart is weak?
How so do you mean this?
Are you easily swayed?
You mean towards law and chaos?
Towards darker paths.
Nay, you already know I serve Bahamut in a formal fashion, or one would assume you know this. In Farwell, Bahamut is pure.
I don't like to rely too much just on what people present on the surface, though. Sometimes there can be darkness within, where the outward would suggest something else. That is why I ask. Not to. I know I pry, but you are the hardest to get a grip on because of your nature is, if you don't mind me saying so, a little brusque at times.
Seems I have been told this more than once.
I mean, I'm sure that serves well in certain areas, especially more military places. I guess my minute's coming to an end, so
Yeah.
I will just say, well, I hope from this point forward we can see more eye to eye.
I hope so as well. I look forward to speaking with you again in the future. On
Indeed,
these
likewise.
terms.
Yes. She just finishes with a nod again and drops back again.
Okie doke.
It's a return nod.
Would there be any lingering thought afterwards?
Right when you were talking about his brusqueness, you also caught a little bit of. Pretty much, you get he has said this as well. That kind of brushed across your mind. In a generic, like someone that he once knew. Afterwards, the fading thoughts would have been more of a lighter feeling towards you, but still cautious about your character.
Okay.
And then he just looks focused on the march forward, keeping an eye out.
That is all I wanted. I'm not gonna hit every member in the group.
Don't have enough.
Only got so many spell slots. Yeah.
Return trip is relatively uneventful. So as you get back, the gates are actually closed, as it is around about midnight at this point. There are two guards, sort of like standing outside the gates. A little bit of noise here and there, but for the most part, it seems like everyone's shut down for the day. Though you imagine if you went over to the bucket of blood, you find there's probably still some activity going on there, just because it's the hip and happening place to be.
They're not going to let anybody in.
With kind of like a whiny tone in her voice, Claire just turns to Bardor and goes, "But why?"
So, get your sleeping gear out and just make the best of it. I'm just going to go talk to the guards and let them know we're here and we're not
Does anyone go with him, or is he gonna trump up there alone?
I'm gonna walk up with him.
Okay.
Yeah, Claire's curious as to why they can't just go in.
As they're walking up.
There are two guards here, and they will not let us in. It's not a bit strange?
Not particularly. And I mean, I know that. Do I know if this is standard procedure, Phil?
They certainly closed the gates. That's not to say they can't be opened. Maybe a little persuasion of some form or other might be required.
This is the group to do it.
Whoops.
You've taken all of your hard hitters here. That's good.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, I'm completely fine with sleeping outside, so I'm of the opinion that this is fine. So whatever.
Yeah, Eska would help with the persuasion, except she also wants to sleep outside, so she's not going to try at all.
So just so you know, we're bedding over there. No threat.
Who are you?
Just a party going about our business.
Don't hear any music. What sort of party are you?
The adventuring type.
Oh. Merv, we let adventurers in. Yeah, Merv don't want to let you guys in, I'm afraid. So you want to sleep outside the walls, is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
I would prefer not to.
Oh, you would prefer not to. Right.
This
Can
is
I-
right.
What do these guys look like?
Races, are they? Are they humans?
Yeah, it's two humans. They look very disinterested with everything ever, to be honest. They don't seem particularly interested in you.
How do the doors look, like the gates?
How do they look?
As far as, are they like visibly latched on the outside? Are they just sitting there with 2 guards posted? When we went in earlier, did we notice if they had like the board across?
So there's nothing from the outside that you can see that would show that they're barred or anything. They're just shut. That's as much as you can tell from here.
Well, Cassette really doesn't want to sleep outside, so she's going to step up and say, "Sirs, we're on a mission for a member of this town, and we were just here earlier in the day. We've just come to return. We're later than planned, but surely you can let us in. We plan to patronize, one of your establishments. I'm sure they would enjoy more customers as well."
You've come to patronize one of the establishments. Hear that, Marv? We've come to patronize one of the establishments. Didn't realize we had such fine folk here.
I chose too big of words. Oh no.
You know what the problem is with patronizing the establishments? They're on the other side of the gate. And as you get a little closer, you get a little waft of ale on his breath. And you realize that maybe laziness isn't the only reason he's sort of like resting up against the wall right now. You think that may be a necessity?
I will channel divinity
Uh-oh.
for emissary of peace.
Not a smite?
I'll take out 2 gold coins and say, "Does this help?"
He takes both. And he kind of looks at them. And he says, what do you reckon, Marv? Does this help our decision? Go ahead and make a persuasion with advantage.
So 20 with.
Sure, I don't mind letting you in, I suppose.
And by you mean my party.
Once again, I really feel like you should have some music if you're going to call yourselves a party. Maybe some sort of dance floor would be good. Somewhere where people can go out and have some fun before they have to go back to their meaningless lives.
I went from hating this guy to loving this guy to now feeling sad for this guy.
And he just, he like leans back to his side and sort of like raps on the door 3 times loudly. And you hear some muffled moaning and then noise of maybe a bar being lifted, and then the gates open up. Well, I guess you've got yourselves the opportunity to go patronize some of our establishments. Off you go.
Thank you, gentlemen. She kind of scurries in quickly before.
Claire kind of bobs a weird combination of curtsy and bow to both of them and scurries through the gates.
And on the other side, you just see like a big exhale. Like she can be okay at that at times, but like is not comfortable.
Cassette, you're a lifesaver. I don't know how those other ones do it.
I come grumbling in.
Right before Silvarius walks in, he stops as the others are like passing by, and he stares at the one main guard that they were talking to.
Mm-hmm.
Waits for him to look at him.
He eventually manages to meet your eye, but he's swaying ever so slightly.
He kneels, or he leans on down to him.
Can I help you?
I'm not sure that you can. You reek of alcohol.
What's it to you?
Do you find pride in your job?
Of course. I am one of the, what's it called? You know, the what's it called?
You
Guards.
can't even think of it yourself right now.
Listen, I can have them close the gates again if you want. Which side would you like to be on?
Oh, I'm going to be on the inside.
Right then. Well, why don't you get yourself on the inside before we make sure you stay on the outside permanently? Don't think I don't know people. I know people.
Sober up so you can actually protect the town should it need it.
Sir, yes, sir. And he gives you a mock salute.
I slowly turn away and start walking inside.
Did Eska sneak in while that was happening?
Yeah, she just
Just
slipped
sort of like
past.
casual slip past. And you hear the doors being closed behind you as you walk through. There
As they get through, she says, I don't know where I said that thing about being brusque. It was totally misplaced.
Even with your not particularly high passive perception, Silverius, you're pretty sure you hear something about scaly bastard coming here trying to act all big and tall, you know. And then it trails off as the doors close. So, where you headed?
I mean, I just start walking off towards the bucket of blood. I don't know whether anybody else is following or not.
And Silvaria starts walking towards the Traveler's Respite. Or Respite.
I pause for a minute and then turn still.
Claire does a very similar maneuver.
Esther's following Badur.
Splendid.
Well,
Splitting the party. Lovely.
Yeah, well, I guess after a moment I realize that it's me and Eska trailing behind me, and I look around and I just go, oh. And I turn.
I don't know what you actually even see in that place. The food is disgusting. The beds are horrible. Noise all night.
I guess. It's cheap. If you want to spend more money, all right.
So you rock up to the Traveler's Respite, and so inside it's pretty quiet in there.
Esther's gonna. We're probably just sleeping straight off, so she's just gonna say, "I'll be out here," and she's just gonna find a tree.
There's a fairly sleepy-looking halfling, well dressed, sitting at the bar, dragon, little sort of iron dragon amulet around his neck, and he sort of looks up and says, "Oh, hello. Bit late, but always happy to see paying customers. How can I help you?"
I guess a couple of rooms.
Right. Yes, I can help out with some rooms. Will you be requiring any food this evening?
Food could be good.
Right. Certainly. Let's see. So, we'll just say evening meal, breakfast, and room for the night, 1 gold each. For just the 4 of you, right?
Yes. And I gesture to Cosette, just waving my hand. I'm just like, go ahead.
Yes, young lady. Will
Okay.
you be taking care of that for us?
Sure.
Right. Thank you.
So what was it,
Yes,
4 gold?
4 gold. Give me a moment to get the food ready. You're welcome to take a seat here, or I can take it up to your rooms, even if you'd prefer. I hope you don't mind sharing. I've only got the 2 rooms left, so it will be, 2 and 2. Hope that's all right.
Will be fine.
Excellent. Right then, follow me if you would. Take you to your rooms, and then we can get you some food, and then take you to a couple of rooms, and just sort of basically deposit you outside the 2 rooms. I'll let you figure out who's going where. Everyone eating the same sort of thing, just meat, cheese, bread.
Sure.
Give me a moment or 2. I'll get that sent up to you with one of my boys. So the 4 of you are just sort of standing awkwardly in a corridor at the moment.
I'll just take the room to the right and just walk in.
Very good.
This is awkward. And
Me too.
Silvarius looks towards
seeing the
Cosette.
awkwardness. Seeing the awkwardness, Cassette kind of points to Claire and
There's a moment, and then a large dragonborn follows you.
Wait, we're sharing a room?
You
Or-
and Cosette.
Okay. That makes much more sense.
What do the rooms look like?
They're very nice. Well decorated, well maintained, relatively comfy looking beds. The girls room is a little larger, actually, and a bit more space between the beds. The room that the guys are in, beds are a little closer than you might think would be comfortable. About 2 feet between the beds. So if you both tried to stand up at the same time, it could be entertaining. And a couple of minutes later, a young halfling, late teens, appears with a couple of trays. Drops one off at each room, and it's actually a very nice looking spread. With a quick sniff, you'd guess maybe some beef and venison, some nice local cheese Bardor. You obviously would be well familiar with the local cheeses, and this is some of the better stuff. There's even a couple of apples on each platter as well as a couple of flagons of ale for each party, or each room.
Well, eat, drink, and get comfy and bed down for the night.
Whilst you're eating, Silvarius is pestering you with a little bit of inquiry.
Okie dokie.
Are you not accustomed to more, how can we say, finer accommodations?
I mean, I've had some times in them, some former employers, but I'm fine with lesser.
You don't consider yourself a warrior at heart?
No, I do. Very much so.
Well, you should be treated better. Put your life on the line every day.
Well, that's kind of you to think so. But I generally just don't make a fuss about things. I guess my standards aren't very high.
Much like you.
Oh, I see a short joke.
Does Bado say that?
Yes, he does.
Nice.
Crooks a smile.
You seem to be quite familiar with the battlefield. Ex-military, I assume.
Yeah, he gives a deep inhale and blows out and says, I've had a campaign or two in my day.
How old are you?
104. Just barely out of my beardling phase.
The large amount of life. We Dragonborn aren't as fortunate to live such lengthy lives. One could serve for a great amount of time. One could get much done.
Yes, most definitely. There's many lifetimes can be lived. Part of being a dwarf is even having one lifetime is barely enough based upon what the ancestors have laid down. So I'm just another part of what the gods have laid down and what my forebears have placed in front of me. So I just try to, do what I can with what I've been given.
Interesting you should say that. We find ourselves in an interesting circumstance with Duarte and our task at hand.
Silvarius he starts digging into his food now. Kind of leaves you alone a little bit while he's thinking.
And if you girls up to anything?
Definitely pillow fights and braiding each other's hair. I'm sure. No, Claire is.
I gotta be honest, I don't have many ideas in this. I've really been in.
Claire is
Like
very.
you said very often. As if it's come up a couple of times.
Yeah, I mean, just a few times.
It's only been a while that you've been a girl. You're still getting used to it.
The night Cosette is just repeatedly hit with pillows and then gets her hair braided while she's standing there perplexed.
No, Claire
Maybe we should.
is 100% used to sharing a room with a roommate, basically, from her dormitory days. So she's pretty much just going about her business, taking off her armor, eating her food, just kind of, quietly going about her nightly routine.
Yeah, same. Maybe like a just kind of while getting ready, snacking, getting ready for bed. Like, what do you think of the rest of our little group. I know we kind of somewhat forced together, but I kind of do think they're.
Well, I'm not gonna lie, it is a pretty fairly odd bunch. But I have similar feelings. I think everyone seems to have good intentions, and, well, we're the only ones that know what happened to each other, so I guess we kind of have to stick together.
Yeah, I don't think we have much of a choice, but they just seem so, I don't know, comfortable or used to this, and I don't know if they're just good at acting like it doesn't faze them, but I mean, I have a lot of training that kind of allows me to fall back on, but I don't know. This is new and scary, and I don't know. I feel like maybe we're in a similar situation.
Yeah, it's completely terrifying to me. I mean, I've only just graduated from my order not even a couple months ago, and I'd only made my way to Delzimer, and I really only thought that I'd be spending my first couple months just helping people in town, maybe just, mending and helping out at a temple, maybe. But this was just nothing that I expected.
Yeah, I thought I was signing up for helping find lost animals and killing rats and that sort of thing. This is a little bit of a situation where we had to learn pretty quick. Not what I was expecting. Maybe we're more capable than we realize.
I hope so. I think we might need it.
I guess that's it. Maybe small talk or whatever.
Yeah,
but
it would probably
Yeah.
just be
No, that's
general
fine.
conversation.
Eska, you doing anything overnight?
Just sitting up in a tree and keeping quiet as I can, and just sort of trancing out.
Eska's really missing out on the girl time
Yeah,
in the room. Just saying.
if only she knew what she was missing out on.
Go ahead and make a perception check for me.
Alrighty, it is a 6. I need to buy some new dice.
Very uneventful night.
Okay, and I would probably not closely register what anyone's doing unless they came close.
Quick question about our room.
Yeah,
Does it have a window?
it does.
Can I see the moon through it?
Let's
Phil,
see.
don't tell me you haven't worked out your moon cycles.
What position in the sky is the moon?
Is it
Yeah.
waning? Is it waxing?
Which direction is north, Phil? And where would the moon be at this time of year? Come on.
Okay, it is waxing. No, sorry, it's waning. My mistake. A little bit of cloud in the sky, so it gets obscured every now and then. But yes, you are able to see it.
More towards the morning, probably at about 4-ish when the moon is still up. Claire would briefly get out of bed and kind of set out her prayer wheel and everything and do just a couple minutes of meditation in the moonlight. And she would try to be as quiet as possible to not disturb Cassette.
Okay. Make a stealth check.
That would be a 7.
You're not quite as quiet as you were hoping.
No.
Cassette, you would hear her, but you have the choice of whether or not you would get up. You could just kind of lie there and let her do her thing. That's your call.
Yeah, she would open her eyes and just see what it was that woke her, but not say anything or.
And yeah, as soon as she was done, she would roll her prayer wheel back up and kind of crawl back into bed and go back to sleep for a little while.
So, morning comes, and you wake to the smell of freshly baked bread and frying bacon. It is a very, very pleasant smell. I mean, it's well after dawn at this point. You guys have slept in till probably close to 9 o'clock. I'm assuming, Eska, you probably did your trance fairly early in the night.
Yeah. So I guess I'd have been up probably.
Yeah, you would have been awake to see the dawn.
I think she'd be hungry at that point, so at dawn she'd probably head in and see if she gets some breakfast.
Okay, and as you getting down from your tree, you hear, "Oi, who you playing at?" As a guard
Hello.
comes over towards you.
I shoot him.
Escalated quickly.
I just I sort of drop down to the ground and say, "Sorry."
Listen, we don't take kindly to vagrancy here. I suggest next time you try going inside the inn instead of outside the inn. That's why they call it an inn.
But I was inside the inn. I just popped out for a breath of fresh air.
Roll for deception.
Dude, this is what you get for not patronizing.
Yeah. Oh, 10.
Very quick. Hold on.
Is this guard drunk?
He looks pretty drunk, Phil.
He's not, though. Yeah, he rolled a 16. With no modifiers. Because he's a guard. Look, just, if I catch you out here doing that again, there'll be a fine. Alright?
I
We keep-
understand.
We keep
You-
Delzima nice.
Don't worry, you won't catch me again.
Better not. And he, you kind of see him just kind of look you up and down a little bit.
I look him up and down a little bit.
Don't worry. He rolled a 3 for perception. He doesn't remember you very well. And he turns and he's off on his way.
So I wander in. I attempt to get myself some breakfast and just settle down to wait for the others to get up.
So, oh, hello. So you want some breakfast? That'll be 5 silver pieces.
Oh. How much for the small breakfast option?
That'll be 3.
Maybe I'll do that.
Very good. Small breakfast is actually still fairly substantial. So I mean, it's a bacon sandwich, but that doesn't do it justice. The slices of bread are each close to an inch thick. The bacon is greasy and also quite thickly sliced.
Mhm.
And there's a couple of interesting smelling sauces on the table available for your.
I avoid them at all costs.
Very good.
No, hang on, this isn't me. Okay, yeah, she samples them.
Okay.
Now's
Yeah,
your
you-
chance to live a little.
Yeah,
Make a.
I order 50 whiskeys and I down them all.
This place has the best sweet potato fries you've ever had.
Oh, don't remind me.
Make an honor check
Hang on, what am I doing an honor check for?
as you're sampling the. You're checking out the different sources.
Okay.
This will be with disadvantage.
I got a 15 and an 8, so I guess you said at disadvantage?
Yeah.
So 9.
You're going through it, and you after kind of deliberating a little bit, you find one that's kind of like got a nice sort of piquant flavor to it, and you dribble some onto your sandwich, and start to chow down. And you kind of like, as you often do, you're sort of like scanning the room, almost absent-mindedly. It's just a form of habit, and there's definitely some disgruntled looks your way. And you get the feeling that while you seem to be enjoying this combination, that is not what is typically done in these parts.
I've made a faux pas
Mm-hmm.
with my bacon sandwich.
Party foul on the bacon sandwich. Yes.
Does my honor go down?
No. Your honor remains intact.
Whew.
It's a small faux pas.
I attempt to dribble some of the other sauce slightly on it, or at least make it look like I am, in the hopes that quells the anger.
You actually do notice that a couple of people sort of grudgingly nod and go back to their food. Pay less attention to you as a result. Eventually, the rest of the party emerges, looking well rested. And Eska, as you sort of having polished off your bacon sandwich, you watch on as your colleagues get a similar looking sandwich, in addition to a small heap of other freshly cooked meats, a potato, an egg, and you realize that they've all had a drink thrown in as well.
I warn them to use both sauces.
Bardor, you would immediately recognize that if Eska's suggesting to use that one particular sauce, you know that something's wrong.
This place really takes their condiments a bit seriously.
That's how I felt, but the looks I was getting for just using that one sauce. For a moment, my hand was on my dagger. Let's just put it like that.
If it helps, Bardor, you would know that this is the equivalent of putting mustard with scrambled eggs. It's that sort of like, what are you doing, you strange person? What's the matter with you? That's the general vibe that you're getting. It's not like they hate you; they just don't understand why you would do this terrible thing.
Right. I'll just be like, hey, whatever sauces you like, it's fine.
I wish you were here an hour ago.
If only this was the most serious thing we had to deal with today.
Yes, I can't think of anything we could face today that could be more important than the sauce situation.
Yes. Social mores are the bane.
They're very tricky. Very tricky.
The bane of all existence.
Yes.
So you successfully have your breakfast. You have already settled up with Hillador. What would you like to do now?
I think we need to go talk to Kaylee.
The faster we clear that place out, the less chance it has to reanimate.
The priest we ran into. Should we bring his name up?
I think so. I don't see a reason not to. It might give us some intelligence.
Perhaps Kaylee knows him.
Alright, so you head over to the shrine, and Kaylee's in there. Tattooed monk Gerda is in there as well.
I guess I will head on in.
I follow along just to keep earshot and
Yeah, Claire will go inside.
Oh, well met, friends. How are you?
Hello,
It's good to
Elder.
see you again.
Good to see you as well. We have come back halfway through our mission. We have encountered quite a bit of an undead presence in the tour, and we seek guidance and potentially some help.
I was afraid of that. Well, I guess it was to be expected. What did you run into?
Several things. We've worst of which seems to have been an actual necromancer.
No.
Yes, and his he was a dwarf, or he used to be. His name was Grog.
Aye, yeah, I remember Grogmere. Hold on just a second. And he nips back over to where you've seen him go several times before. It has like a small area where he tends to keep his various different belongings. He comes out with a heavy, dusty book, and he starts flicking through it, and he's like, Grogmere. Aye, I knew I recognised the name, but I've not read it for years. I mean, he had my job 400 years ago, give or take. That's troubling.
I thought so. We found this on him, and I bring out the pendant.
And so he, he sees the sort of like small anvil, essentially, that with it's kind of got like a hammer resting on top, and he goes to take it, and he's like, oh, something's wrong with it. Like he as soon as he touched it, he released it immediately. He's like, something's very wrong with this. You got this from him, you say?
Off of his body. As far as we know, we've killed him. I guess the second time. Yeah, we found it on him, and we're not done. We know there's more undead presence there, but we needed to fall back as we were quite harried and bloodied.
Good. Come over and take a look at this. And
Okay.
Gerda comes over and he takes a look and he reaches out and you can see he grabs it and he's struggling with it, but he manages to hold on. And he says, "Something's very wrong with this. It's powerful though. It's very powerful, but it feels wrong. Something is definitely off with this. That said, if you could master it, I reckon it would probably come in very handy.
Right. Can it be cleansed?
I mean, we can try. I know some ways that maybe even our noble priest here might not know, just from my training. Do you want to try leaving it with us, and we'll see if we can figure something out between us today?
I believe so. I feel it should be cleansed or reclaimed somehow.
It's not good when one of us goes to the dark like that. I guess we can just hope that it's an isolated incident.
Hopefully, but we do need to go and clean it out. It's not done. We don't know what was totally happening. It seemed as though Grogmere was getting ready to do some sort of ritual. We were actually hoping that we could cleanse at least the ritual chamber, which looked like it was in a tomb or a burial room. There were several other dwarves that looked like they had been buried there.
Right.
So we were actually wondering if we could potentially get some holy water to aid us in that and potentially getting rid of some of the other undead that might be there.
Make a persuasion roll with advantage.
4.
I do have some, but stuff's not that easy to make, so there would be a small fee for it. How much do you think you need?
I look over at Claire.
We at least need some for the skull at the top of the tour.
The what?
There was this strange skull that was only a skull, not the rest of the skeleton. And he lived in one of the forges. And we could tell that even though we thought we killed him, but we could still sense his presence. So it seems like maybe he might need to be cleansed himself. And then there are potentially other rooms that might have other things that need cleansing as well.
Okay, well, listen, I'll give you a discounted price. So normally it's 25 gold per flask. It's the powdered silver part of it that costs the money. You are doing us a favor, so let's say 3 for 50 gold. Would that work for you?
Well, she kind of turns to them and says, I would consider that a fair price. And if you don't mind, I actually do need a bit of the raw powdered silver if you happen to have any.
How much do you need?
Just 1 ceremony's worth. I just need 25 gold worth.
Aye, we can do that.
And Claire will pay that out of her personal gold.
Just when you're going through there, try to be as respectful as you can. And I don't know what all this Grogmere has done there, but as a thank you, you would be entitled to whatever relics you find within reason. If there's something there that you think would be of use to you, as long as you're still helping us out in the future, we'd have no problems with you helping yourselves to that. We don't have a lot of liquid assets here, shall we say, so that's probably the easiest way for us to repay you. Alrighty.
Eska will be outside, set back up against the tree, casting Druidcraft to see what the weather's going to be like.
Just like sitting under your tree?
Yeah, just kind of twiddling her fingers to see what effect pops up when she does it.
Clear morning, kind of chilly. Gentle breeze, nothing too bad. right now, and you would think it's maybe going to warm up a little, but not that much across the day.
Okay. Okay.
No chance of rain at the moment.
I semi-apologize for doing this every day to you, but
No, I
it's
like
handy,
that.
so...
Yeah. You guys, anything else inside the shrine before you head on?
Not for me.
Don't think so.
Eska's outside. By the time they get out, she's outside, kind of pacing, kind of like very ready to go.
So as you come up towards the gates, you hear a little squeak over to your left, and Cater pops out of the back door of the dried bunch. Oh, hello, friends. Oh, are you leaving?
Yes.
Oh, that's a shame. What are you
Hi.
off to do?
Fight some undead.
Well, you have fun.
Did you want?
Nope,
Okay.
nope. You go right ahead. I think I will be better served here, learning more alchemy.
You doing okay though?
You go. Make a perception check.
10.
So as you look him over, looks a little skinnier than the last time you saw him.
Uh-huh.
A little frazzled. He's missing an eyebrow, but he looks legitimately happy. You know, he's looking forward to going back in there and not going anywhere near the undead.
Well, looks like you're doing okay. We'll catch up with you when we get back.
Aye, let's.
And don't get too comfortable. Remember, we have things we are all taking care of.
Oh, right, that, yes.
Don't get lost in your work.
Right. And he kind of gives you a sort of a, yes, of course, would never dream of doing that kind of thing, which doesn't really fill you with much confidence. And he heads back inside.
We're not having any of that.
We're not gonna take it.
Yeah.
No, we're gonna take it.
Performance check.
Oh, wait. I'll throw you one.
That didn't sound like Silvarius though.
That definitely was.
Oh.
We're not
Yeah.
gonna take it. No.
So that's
So-
what you multi-classed into, but interesting.
Yeah, it's not working out well. The parents aren't happy.
No. No.
Like, I've been disowned twice.
Twice.
So, heading back to the jolly old tour. Anybody want to do anything on the way? Or are you heading straight there?
Eska's going to actually take the attempt to take the lead. She is very eager to get back and smite some stuff. But yeah, so she's going to take front.
Okay.
Where normally she likes to hang back and watch the rear.
You trundle on down the road, eventually returning to the tower.
Do we have a plan for how we tackle the skull this time?
Perhaps we get the jump on him.
We could enter from two different ways. Now that we know
Sounds
the
good.
layout.
Yeah, I think just not entering all at the same
Should there be a fire?
time.
Should we douse it?
Did Phil? Did it look like the fire was essential to the spell? Did it look like it channeled that, or was it just sort of happenstance that it popped up from there?
It used the fire to make it worse.
So where do we want to maneuver to when we get inside?
Silvarius unsheaths his sword, and as he does, it catches to white flame.
Shouldn't be able to resist this.
Can
We'll
we?
form a breaching party.
Yeah, I don't mind.
So just before we split, I'll say give us some kind of signal to go in. It can be we're going in. I mean whatever. Just let us know so we know when to enter.
Before the group officially breaks off to either side of the building,
Mhm.
Claire is going to cast Aid again on Cassette, Bardor, and Eska. More time.
5 more hit points, right?
Yep. 8 whole hours.
If Silvarius was going to argue with you, Cosette, about who should go in first, Would you fight back?
Not particularly.
Preparation's done. You guys are split up either side. Someone's gonna say go, and then what's happening exactly? Just talk me through like that very like the next step. So I make sure.
You know, actually, I'm going to take a step. I'm going to switch places with Bardur if that's okay, because I feel like Bardur needs to be closer.
That's fine. So, I mean, my plan of action is to open the door, hopefully see the skull, and chuck an axe at it.
My plan is to shoot over his shoulder.
Are you gonna holler out, "Go, Bardur"? These doors spin,
They spin, yeah.
so it's gonna have to
Probably.
be audible. No message spell, Rich.
No.
Damn it.
What are you talking about? You know what, though? I could probably signal using Druidcraft, I imagine. I send a little kind of sprinkle of sort of sleety snow in a little area above the building.
And that's the go in and the go symbol.
Yes, I will assume that I mentioned that before we split up.
Yeah. This is the pre-conversation post move.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let's have Silveris, Claire, and Cosette make a perception check, please. It's middle of the day. Some snow is falling in the sky. Let's see if you can see it.
Yeah, unnatural 20 for Claire.
Unnatural 20, Silvarius.
Okay, so yeah, you are coordinated. So you move in as one. So Bardur and Silvarius simultaneously, you are able to push open the doors. I need everybody to go ahead and roll initiative,
22.
including myself.
15.
5.
12.
Silvarius is last. That's definitely not going to be a problem.
I could not figure out the rotating door.
They're very complicated. It's
He
okay.
kept pushing in the middle.
You kept going in circles.
Yeah.
You just kept going right around. You're like, what's going on?
All right, so top of the round, Bardur, you are first. As soon as you come in, you see in this bottom left-hand corner. So once again, the brazier in the middle is a flame, as it was when you arrived last time. Instead of being in the forge, the flame skull had taken a different corner in the hopes that it might surprise you. It looks like it's been waiting for you. And you hear this, and yeah, it's your turn. What would you like to do?
Step forward one, and I am going to chuck an axe at it. 23
23 hits.
and 7 damage. So again, I forget my things, but I do get the Dread Ambusher.
Oh yeah. Just so you know, it is very brightly lit in here. Oh, that's an extra 8. Gosh. Okay, yeah, he's really unhappy with that. It is his turn next. He don't care. He's just going for it.
Oh no.
As far as he's concerned, it's now and ever. You see him as like this axe comes out and like comes in and like chips away part of his skull, and the extra energy that comes from this Dread Ambusher thing. Like you can almost see like there's this weird sort of arcane ripple that happens as you throw the axe. And he looks at you, and there's just flame in his eyes, and then he opens his mouth, and more flame appears. And then there's this gout of flame, and then the whole room erupts. I will need dexterity saving throws from both Silvarius and Bardur. DC is 13.
13.
Wow.
Dang it. Well,
Oh.
So close. Okay. He rolled very well, I'm afraid, on damage. Bardur, you take 33 fire damage.
gosh.
Silvarius, you take 16. How have I done that again? Oh my goodness.
I'm feeling suddenly quite woozy again.
Back to your normal state.
So after there's this explosion, he just sort of cackles again. and then just turns his fiery eyes towards Silvarius. Cassette, it's your turn. You've seen Silvarius go in, and the door kind of like swivels behind him, and then almost immediately, like as the door swivels one more time, just there's a gout of flame that comes out, and then the door swivels shut again.
Okay, and that was my signal to go in after that happened. So I'll move in and kind of look around and move towards the flame skull.
Sylvarius is patting fire off himself.
I will attack.
Don't do an uppercut, whatever you do.
Oh yeah, that was not.
No.
18 hits, 23 total. Yeah, Cassette comes in, pushes past the smoldering Silvarius, mutters a prayer, and believe it or not, uppercuts the flame skull. And the flail just swings up, catches the flame skull in the jaw, and sends it rocketing up into the ceiling, where it shatters into 1,000 pieces. It is dead. It is deceased.
Oh,
It's been smoked.
It's been smodified, yeah.
I turn around and look at them still smoldering and go, just
Yeah, I mean, kind of true. I look like Wile E. Coyote right now, and I'm gonna go sit in the corner right there.
Eska bursts in through the door, arrow knocked, kind of looking wildly around.
Yeah, Claire similarly shoves past Sylvarius into the room.
Shove Silvarius into the fire on her way in.
are there enough pieces to pour holy water on?
You destroyed it too much.
Yeah, you can kind of like shuffle the pieces around with your foot a little bit to create a pile.
Does anybody have a broom in their pack?
Let's see if I have something that might be helpful.
Just pen and brush.
Probably attach a bedroll to his axe, maybe.
Could we like prestidigitate him, like sweep the bone into a tidy little pile?
Yeah, you feel confident that you have him correctly secured here.
Or we could put the holy water in like a spray bottle.
Yeah, there you go.
So are you pouring the holy water on? Okay. Go ahead and mark off one holy water.
I'm gonna get my axe and then say little help. I'm kind of, or I can take another nap. I seem to like to take naps around here, but I don't know if we wanted to keep pushing on. But I need a little bit of help first.
We were only outside for 5 seconds.
Thank you.
But yeah, Claire will go over to Bardor and put a hand on his shoulder and cast Cure Wounds on him for 6.
I'll offer some lay on hands points if needed. I'll give you 9 hit points.
Oh, thank you.
I'm gonna go ahead and use Second Wind as well.
All right. Well, I guess I'll take the healing potion. What is it, Phil?
2d4 plus 2.
You should complain about watered down potions, Barder.
I should.
Or maybe Bardo didn't drink it very well. Maybe he kind of drunk it like a dwarf drinks ale, and most of it went down in his beard.
Yeah. Equal.
His beard is real healthy looking.
Yeah.
Barder, not so much.
Let me see. Should I roll a d20 to see if it's in my beard?
Yeah, roll a beard check.
Beard check.
It's a decent looking beard.
There we go.
I'm gonna wander over and glance down the stairs again, like I did last time.
Make a perception check.
18. Hey.
Looking down the hall, like down the stairs, you see that the braziers are still lit down there. Also, something catches your attention out the corner of your eye. If you recall, when you were here the first time, like the whole place caught fire, basically. The weapons rack caught fire, and there were just some rusty old weapons on there. I don't really want mannequin, but we'll go with mannequin for now. Holding the armor burnt up, too. And just as you're kind of looking around, as you go over towards the stairs, like the armor just catches your eye a little bit. You take a closer look, and you see that it's undamaged by the fire.
I guess I would pause and say, "Hey, Cassette, Silvarius, what do you make of this?"
Surprised that we missed this last time.
As you tap it with your foot, Eska, it's almost like some little bits flake off, but there's like flakes that fall, but there's no obvious place where they came from. It's a little strange.
What sort of flakes? Like sort of rust?
Looks a little bit like rust, but the armor doesn't look that rusty. It's a little peculiar. It looks old, dwarven make, and it is scale mail. It's a very sort of dull grey metal.
I sort of leave it in their hands, really, because I'm not a big armor person.
Something we should look into. Perhaps later.
Can I go ahead and take it off the mannequin?
It's not really on the mannequin anymore. It's just kind of on the floor.
May I guess put it on my back? My back?
Yeah, it's quite large. But yes, you can kind of, with some effort, put some of it in your pack, strap some of it to the back of your pack. You're a little bit bulkier than you were before.
I guess I will look around to the group and sort of point downstairs, and then if they seem agreeable, I'll head down.
So,
everything looks sort of as it was, for the most part.
Yep, you've got one open door in the southeast corner of the room, closed door in the northeast corner, closed door on the west wall, and in the south you still have this multicolored, constantly shifting barrier.
Do we carry out the ceremony now? How long does that take?
It would take me about an hour.
So potentially we should make sure the place is clear before we try and settle down, do you reckon?
But before we continue, should we check on our friend in the other chamber?
Possibly so. I think that led somewhere as well. Perhaps we'll end up doubling back on ourselves.
Indeed. Actually, I'm gonna take the weird, gross cheese out of a pocket, and I'm gonna throw it at the portal thing ahead.
Okay. It goes in and just sort of looks like it melts and then disappears.
Good job, Badder. That stuff was terrible.
That is where it belongs.
Yes. We should. Any more cheese we get, we should bring it here.
Don't dispel this wall.
Yeah.
Is this, and I just forget, I think you described it the first time, it's like a vertical wall? Because on the map it looks like it takes up like some horizontal space, but is it just a vertical thing?
Very hard for you to tell. But
it takes up the whole vertical area. We can't tell how far it goes past that.
Correct.
But it does take up that whole archway or whatever.
It does, yes.
Okay.
There's no spaces around it.
Well, at least we got rid of that cheese. Let's go.
Yeah. As Badder's a little worse for wear, Eska will offer to lead.
I can as well, but I'd have to have basically a torch. Unless is it dim light in here already?
So, the room you're in right now is brightly lit. And everywhere where there's torches, it's brightly lit. There's patches of darkness where the light doesn't reach. But you also do know that there is a point where you haven't reached yet previously. And you don't recall, it just kind of disappeared into darkness down there. So, Cosette, if you're leading, if you will, just move yourself. The corridor in front of you is dark, but then it lights up again at the end.
Okay, so I'll go to the end and peek around this corner to see if any of our ghouls.
Nothing seems to be moving there.
Okay, I'll do like the kind of beep beep beep, asking everyone to back up, and then I guess I'll just make my way down.
Mm-hmm. And again, this corridor is dark, but then it lights up again from the. If you recall, the pillars in the main chamber here all had torches on, like on each of the cardinal directions.
So yeah, I'll approach this with a little caution, just making sure nothing has changed in this room.
Make a perception check.
5 minus 4 or minus 1 and 4.
Okay. As far as you can tell, everything looks the same. You think? Not overly confident, but you think it's pretty much as you left it.
Okay, I'll go in, but slowly, and kind of wave everybody else.
keeping close behind.
And specifically the circle, like,
Yeah.
that's still there, right?
Still there.
Obviously.
Looks unaltered.
Is the necromancer's body still there?
There is a heap where you left him. Yes. Did you burn him? I don't remember.
Did we burn him?
I thought we
I
did.
thought we
put
burned something.
all the
Yeah.
skeletons. We were trying to get rid of
Yeah.
like necromancer fuel.
Ah, excellent.
So yeah, there's some various little piles of ash around.
Claire, I mean, your ritual takes an hour. Should we explore a little bit further just to make sure maybe we won't get interrupted in that hour?
It might be wise just to make sure that we don't get ambushed.
In this room, it's pretty bright, but you don't see any light source down the end of the corridor where Bardor is looking right now. Bardor, of course, you see pretty darn well in the dark, so you can see all the way to the wall, no problem.
So I'm going to take, because is this 2 hallways leading into one pretty much? Is that what I'm gathering?
You think so, yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to take the far left.
Do we want to sort of scope things out again a little, sort of ahead of the armored party, or are we just sort of gung-hoing it?
That's not a bad idea.
Maybe just gung-hoing it.
Bardot, you're very confident for a man who is just...
A blaze.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to get caught out again by myself. So that's all.
I'll be with you.
Okay.
If something kills you, I'll run back and let everybody know.
That's very kind. It's very, very kind. All right, come with me.
I will follow just behind.
Okay.
So I'll go
We're
up
sneaking,
to the
right?
edge.
We're
Yeah,
sort of going
yes.
quiet.
I
I
guess-
think that was
yeah.
the intent, yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna kind of like peek around the corner here.
What you see in front of you. So, you have a corridor that goes out in front of you, about 50 feet before you see another, or possibly an extension of the same, multicolored, wibbly-wobbly barrier.
Does there look to be any doors off the sides? I know we might not be able to tell from this far back, but can we?
Not from here, you can't see anything.
Okay.
You can just see the barrier.
But we don't see
I guess-
anything looking to kill us either.
Currently, no.
Okay. Should I
step
signal
forward.
back? Yeah, I'm gonna.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
yeah, you
signal
can.
back to the others that it looks okay for now.
yeah.
If they want to
Yeah,
follow on.
I'm gonna go up and look around a little bit. I want to see, considering that there have been trapdoor, or there have been doors. I would like to look for doors.
Okay, make a perception check.
9.
Nothing sort of immediately obvious. You kind of like give up looking basically, but then out of the corner of your eye, you do catch something that looks like it might be another doorway on the left, just 10 feet up ahead of you.
Okay, I'm gonna check for trap.
Okay, investigation, please.
17.
Okay.
Bravo.
As with the other secret doors you encountered in this temple, it operates by pressing 2 very well disguised patches of wall that operate 2 switches. And you're looking, and so you kind of are expecting this construction. Looking it over, you don't see anything that would indicate that it's trapped. Knowing how the mechanism works, you're expecting the door to drop down in front of you. You don't see anything above the door that looks like it would trigger when it's opened. The pressure plates don't look like they would trigger in any unexpected way. So you feel safe that this is not trapped.
Let's see what's through here.
Okay. All right. I don't think that it doesn't seem like it's trapped, so I'm gonna open it up.
Okay.
Right behind you.
Okay.
Does the colored wall put off light?
No, there is. It does look like there's some dim light maybe coming through it.
I'm gonna cast light on my sword and keep it close to fully sheathed, enough to kind of see for me.
So, push your hands out. 2 clicks, and then that sound of stone grinding against stone, and a small corridor appears in front of you with a door. Very similar in construction to the doors you saw in the like the first chamber. So it is a dwarven door.
Is it barred?
Pivots again. It is not a barred door, no.
Ha ha ha.
Well, I guess in for a copper piece, in for a gold piece. Let's go on.
Go forward and open the door.
Push against it. Door starts to spin. You stepping through?
Yes.
So as you step through, you see this corridor. Open doors at either end. You can see through into the north chamber. This is not a dwarven door. This is a a more traditional pivoting door. In the north chamber, you can see a series of cages. In the south chamber, you see something fairly similar. Just one cage in there. From here, it's, well, with your eyes, it's pretty clear. There appear to be bodies in these chambers, in the north one. And you hear a weird shriek coming from the south. A shape sort of starts to appear. What you think might be a body slumped in that cage in the south. And something rises up from out of the body and screams at you. Sort of like just this weird... And I'm going to need everyone to roll initiative again, please.
I poke my head around the corner and just let everybody know to roll initiative.
Thanks. Appreciate that.
In case I didn't hear the scream.
2, Silvarius.
18.
Eska, could you speak up?
Roll initiative.
7.
18.
I close the door behind Bardur and just tell the others to head on back. It's too late for him, but we can probably save ourselves.
You say I saw something, right, Phil?
Yeah, that is correct, yes.
Can I check and see if I know what it is?
If
You
make it that
didn't
far.
get a good look at it yet. It is actually Bardur and Claire up first. To the north, you have what looks like another skeleton. Listening, you think there's a possibility that there might be more than one up there. It's hard to tell. To the south, you're still having a hard time making out exactly what it is. It's almost like it's not all there. It does look to be vaguely dwarven, though.
I will turn my attention towards the skeleton, because I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to handle that ghostly thing. Guess I'll do Hunter's Mark on it. Do I have advantage on this attack by any chance? Because of my umbral vision?
Yeah, there's no light source in here. It is dark. And it would be relying on dark vision to see you. So yes, you do have advantage.
So I'm going to shoot it with my longbow. 24.
24 hits. So
14.
you step up, take a shot, and you manage to hit it right in the sternum, and the impact of the arrow just sends a shockwave through the skeleton, and it just collapses in a heap. Is gone. Okay, Claire.
Well, since she's all the way still back in the corridor, she's pretty much just gonna move up and try to peek around the corner and just kind of ask, "What's going on?"
Seems legit.
Eska will think about that for a few seconds.
Next up, there is a clatter of steel. 2 more skeletons step out from the cages, and they do not know from whence the shots came exactly. Like, well, they know the rough direction, but they don't have vision on you because you are currently invisible to them. So they will be shooting at disadvantage at Bardur with their short bows. Wow, which saved a crit. Nevertheless, still 19 to hit.
Yeah.
For the first one. So you're there quite happily thinking that they've come out, they can't see you, and then one of them just shoots down the corridor and you realize, hey, this is only a 5-foot wide corridor. Might not be that hard to escape, actually. But it just flicks off your arm for 3 piercing. And then the second one takes a shot. Rolled double 13, so 17 total.
Yes.
Okay? And so that one pings off your other arm for 4 piercing. After you give a slight yelp, skeletons feel like they've maybe got a better idea of where you're at right now. Sorry, Eska, it's your turn.
Aha. There's dead things down here. And then she'll turn around, pop her head into the corridor. What can I see to the south in that single cage?
Sort of weird, ethereal, transparent, dwarf-looking thing.
Is the door to the cage open or closed?
Closed.
If I look north, can I see anything aside from Bardo?
You can see you can just about see from there that there's 2 skeletons with bows.
I will attempt to shoot the one to the left of the door from my angle.
It is going to have cover.
I don't want to anger the thing at the bottom. So that's going to be a 17.
Just misses. Yeah, with the protection of the wall.
I'm going to pop back out into the main corridor to make room.
Okay.
And I'm just going to say, whatever's to the south is ghostly.
Okay, Cassette. You're up.
I'm going to move up, at least as far as I can see, and try to peek around the corner. That's like 25 feet of movement there. So I can get to the T. Can I peek around from there, or do I have to actually step in there?
To be able to see anything properly, you'd need to probably go in there, yeah.
Okay. Well, I guess from here, though, I could see, is there more light going forward? I couldn't see really around the corner. I'm kind of in light with Silverius' sword now, but if I go further, I'm going to kind of go into darkness. Does it look like there's light coming from the left or the right?
No.
Okay. This is quite a sticky wicket. Is lighting a torch an action? A full action?
Yeah, because you'd have to get it out and then light it as an action.
Yeah, I'll do that, I guess.
So as soon as you light it up, you get 20 foot of bright light all around, and then 20 foot of dim. So you can now see comfortably down to the end of each, yeah?
Okay, and unfortunately I can't move out of that little crossway, so I'm going to be kind of stuck in the middle there. But that's about all I can do.
So you can see, as you look to the south, the creature is apparently behind bars. It then moves right through them and up towards you. It reaches out and touches you, and I need you to make a charisma saving throw, please.
7.
Okay, yeah, that's good enough.
I mean, it likes me?
You felt, as it reached out and touched you, you felt this cold presence trying to creep into your mind, but you're able to shake it off. It just stops there for now. So, Varys, you're up.
Follow Cosette in. I had unsheathed my sword when I was coming down the hallway, and if I can't reach this, I'm just going to drop my sword and try to cast Ray of Frost on it.
Okay.
15 to hit.
15 hits.
My first roll, I messed up. My first roll was I missed. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah. So 4 misses. And you just send this blast of cold energy, and it just whiffs slightly as the form shifts a little, and it ends up just creating a cold bit of wool. Okay. Bardur and Claire, you're back up.
Are they in cover where I'm at, Phil? The skeletons?
For you, it's partial cover.
If I step up 1,
At that point, they are just open.
I'll take a shot at the rightmost one. 13.
Just hits.
So 9 damage, and then the hunter's.
Yeah. Once again, lethal shot from the longbow as it smashes into the skeleton and drops it to the ground. Bone clattering everywhere.
I'm just going to take another step back, I think.
Claire.
If Claire moves into the corridor, it's going to take 2 to get through Silvarius. Would she be able to move diagonally into the corridor here, or would she need to pass through Cassette as well?
She would have to go through Cassette as well.
All right, Claire's stuck in the hallway. Because I got 25 total movement, so that would be more movement than I have to get in there. She'll just try to send a cheeky little firebolt around the corner at him.
Okay.
That would be a 23 to hit.
23 hits. Unsurprisingly.
5 fire damage.
Okay. So you see this little spark of flame shoot out from Claire's hand, narrowly missing Silverius and Cassette, and you see it hit this weird, like, half there creature, and it makes impact, but you don't think it does as much damage as it normally would.
I'm gonna back her up so that Eska maybe actually has a chance to get through the hallway.
Eska, it's your turn.
So I'm gonna poke back round, see that there's some major congestion, but I assume I can see a ghostly form.
Yep, with some cover, but yes.
I shoot it, and I get 9.
Yeah, unfortunately, that does not hit, and actually you're lucky not to have clipped Cassette there. It was mighty close. Your arrow just smashes into the wall, dealing 0 damage.
Eska just looks dejectedly at herself, and then
As
backs
she
out
should.
into the corridor and shrugs at Claire.
Skeleton comes around the corner and eyes up a shot and bar door. Does a 12 hit?
No.
No, I did not think so. It goes into this little corner. And you think you hear the sound of something hitting the floor. Followed by the sound of, if you had to guess, maybe the sound of a blade being drawn. Sort of a... Cassette, you're up. Yeah, that's a ghost.
Oh, okay. Just like,
That's just a straight up dwarven ghost right there.
and they're evil.
I mean, this one doesn't seem very friendly. You would know that not all ghosts are bad. Some ghosts stick around for other reasons that are not malicious.
I'm going to try to hit the.
Okay. 15 hits. It is undead, so you get your extra d8.
So the radiant is
Wow.
7, 8, 7.
Oh my god.
8 plus modifier 4, so 12.
Okay. So, as you swing around wildly with the flail, it kind of goes through the creature. And you're a little disappointed because you feel like that initial swing didn't do as much as it should. And then you just push that divine energy through as the flail's moving through its body, and you just see this radiant light pulse through the creature. While the initial swing may not have done as much damage as you would expect, the follow-up absolutely did. The radiant did full damage.
Another question. Is it still there?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to move back up in the hallway to clear some space.
So as you step back, it does reach out and slashes a ghostly claw at you. 13 to hit. That would be a negative.
That does not.
The ghost steps forward, gives a loud shriek, and just glares at everyone who can see it, which would be Cassette, Bardor, Silveris, and Claire.
Did I mention how much I was looking at those skeletons behind us?
I need
Did I forget?
everybody to make a DC 13 wisdom save.
Oh boy.
10.
Ooh, that hurt.
20.
Well, thank goodness. Oh dear.
11.
Claire is definitely not afraid of no ghost.
And Claire and Cassette... Silveris and Cassette, how'd you do?
10.
Not ideal. 1 plus a 1 for a 1, 2, 3.
So everyone except Claire is now frightened.
Oh.
In addition,
This is a turn of events.
Cassette, this very strange thing happening. As you're there, you feel yourself aging unexpectedly rapidly. You are currently 10 years older than you were before.
Oh,
That's just a thing. You just are 10 years older. That's all there is to it. Just as a reminder for everyone, including myself, frightened condition. You have disadvantage on ability checks and attack rolls while the source of its fear is within line of sight. and you cannot willingly move closer to the source of its fear. It is going to shimmy away. Silvarius, you can make an attack of opportunity, albeit at disadvantage.
I am punching at it.
Right, yes.
A 5.
5 does not hit, so it slinks away down back towards from whence it came. And it is now your turn, Silvarius.
Can I see it?
You would probably need to move into the corridor, which you can't do. I think you can probably get it with 3/4 cover.
Okay. So Varus is gonna. He kind of looks like he wants to move forward, and he's just like,
Come on.
and he thrusts his hand out in frustration, not being able to move forward. The fear. And that's going to be one more. Oh, nope, that's not going to hit. 5.
Another splash of cold up against the wall as it the tremor in Silvarius's hand keeps it off target. Please make another wisdom saving throw. Oh, I was going to say it would be at disadvantage, but it doesn't matter.
No.
You are
Fail.
still frightened. Badur and Claire, you are up.
Can she see the ghosty from here?
She can. Partial cover again.
Mm-hmm.
But you can see it.
She's gonna cast Guiding Bolt.
Okay.
So that was a 20 to hit. Unnatural 20.
20 hits.
With 16 radiant damage.
Claire, unaffected by this ghost, pushes past Silvarius, looks down the corridor, mutters a prayer, and shoots out this possibly little rainbow-colored orb, shooting down, and there's a little explosion, a little Technicolor explosion. There is a screech as this energy pulses through the translucent form, and then it just fades.
She fist pumps excitedly into the air.
Badur, Cassette, Silvarius, you find yourselves emboldened once more.
Yay.
The source of your fear no longer visible.
Right, so I'm going to run across to over here in the past Cassette and on the other side.
As you do that, it's going to take a little swing at you.
Okay.
As you run past. Has 19 to hit. Just gives you a little jab in the ribs as you run past. 4 piercing.
Okay. Hunter's Mark, the skeleton.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to longbow shot again. 19.
19 hits.
5 damage, and then Hunter's Mark 3.
Badur's clearly losing his touch. The skeleton is still standing. You did, however, rip one of the shoulders clean out of the socket. Okay. Eska.
Eska's going to... She's going to dash to see what the situation down here is. Not seeing the ghost. She's going to dash into the room to see what's going on.
Okay. The room seems empty.
So she would just give a thumbs up.
Okay, skeleton's turn. Because of the corner, it is not in contact with Cassette, so it's going to go after Badur, because frankly, it doesn't like him. 23 to hit.
Yeah.
Another little poke in the ribs. 3 piercing damage with the short sword. That's its turn. Cassette.
I will do a flail.
Mm-hmm. That hits.
11 damage.
Okay. Swing the flail around. As it impacts the skeleton, there's it's almost like there's an explosion. Bone fragments just splinter all around as the flail makes multiple impacts on the skeleton's torso. It is, oh my goodness, so very gone. You get the feeling that the flail is particularly impactful against the skeleton.
And that just having a hard time making it out. That was the only one standing in the
Correct.
room, right?
There are currently no visible threats.
Eska just kind of shout whispers up the corridor. Is it all clear that end?
Clear. And I
Clear
look
down
for
here
my,
too.
I look for arrows.
Sure, yeah, you can recover half your arrows.
I'm gonna just search the room, especially around the cage, I guess, just to see if there's anything
Okay.
odd or interesting.
Brief glance around actually doesn't turn anything up. The body that's in that cage is long gone. Looks dwarvish. You didn't get a great look at the ghost, but you think it could be the same person. A little hard to tell.
No urns with gold coins in or anything?
No urns with gold coins. No.
Rats.
Yeah.
No rats either.
Look up here. Does it look like? Is this sort of weird that there's so many cages with skeletons in them?
Brief glimpse, like looking around, you think that this is being repurposed. Certainly, this would not have been the original intent of these catacombs within the temple. You think that Grogmere has been at work here, creating this environment. Cages do not look like, they look relatively recently installed.
Do these like what are the skeletons? Do they look like they're recently dead or like?
It's a little hard to say, partly because Cassette just exploded one of them.
Mm-hmm.
So that one is not really readable in any way, shape, or form. The other two, they look, they're certainly very well decayed.
Can I look around and see if I can find anything of interest in these in here?
Same thing as Eska. You find some cages and some bodies, but there's nothing of note within the room itself.
Eska heads back up and says, "Well, that wasn't very fruitful, but I suppose we cleared out a few more denizens. They needed killing. Again.
Part of the cleansing.
Yeah, I think we've cleared everything over here. We may have to try the other doors."
Yeah.
I'm not feeling great about... Just from memory, I feel like that barrier is not far from the barrier we saw in the other room. I wonder if they connect, though I have no interest in attempting to pass through.
Not after the cheese.
But I do say... What I fear slightly is that as there's two sides to it, I fear that it is some kind of cage or protective barrier for something. I don't know, but that's disturbing if it is.
The last time we were down here, I got the sense that if we found a certain kind of item, I don't know if it's a key or a magical object, but it might allow us to pass back and forth through the barrier. I do think it is some kind of gate.
You don't think that symbol the necromancer had could be the...
I couldn't tell you. I just know it's kind of one of those things that usually requires some kind of key.
Okay.
I didn't get a specific read on it.
I guess we should keep our eyes out open then.
For now, I think it's safer to just avoid it.
I'm with you there. I may even be happy to avoid it, ongoing. With that being the case, is there any reason not to head back to the main antechamber we first came down to and check out what might be through those other doors?
Well, our only options would be that we continue to explore the other doors, or we just take our luck and guard the doors in the big chamber.
Jump in. Oh, yes.
Into the...
On the other hand, it would take me about an hour. Bardor could maybe take a rest. I know short rests seem to be more of an advantage for him than maybe the rest of us.
Yes, maybe you could... if you wish to perform your your ceremony in the main chamber, we could have the others of us who are feeling relatively unscathed guard the doors, and Bardo could take a rest.
I could take a rest as well.
Yeah.
Should I not be needed to be posted on guard?
I think if Cassette's okay to watch one way, I'm happy to keep an eye on the other way. I feel like we should still watch down this way because of this strange barrier. Even though it doesn't seem like anything could.
Yeah.
I feel like just to be on the safe side.
I mean, if a short rest, you're
Conscious
conscious
for
for
too,
too.
That's fair.
We've made a fair amount of sound down here, and nothing seems to be coming from any other corridors so far. So
That's
maybe
true.
we might be safe for just an hour.
It sounds like a solid plan. That way we're not losing time whilst you do your ceremony as well, because it gives others a chance to get a breather. I guess
And
we
yeah.
make our way back there unless anybody argues.
Yeah, that's fine with me.
I'll post myself so I can kind of see both exits.
So yeah, Claire will take out her powdered silver dust, and she'll start casting ceremony over the big old nasty blood circle. And she is going to cast it ritually, so it will just take an hour and 10 minutes.
Okay.
Does it sort of just involve wandering around and spreading silver dust around and sort of muttering phrases that
I'm
sound like
guessing it's
Latin
a
phrases?
lot. Yeah, I'm guessing it's a lot of muttering since it takes an hour.
Yeah.
Lots of hand gestures. Maybe some incense being lit.
I like to think that, to an extent, Claire's making a fair amount of it up as she goes along.
Probably. There's a good chance. She's never done this before, so.
The spell only really takes 30 seconds to do, but she wants to make it look like it was a big deal.
In
She
fairness,
pulls out like an actual like poke hat from her bag.
Yeah.
she's also
Yeah.
never stared down a ghost before and sent it back to oblivion. So
She
Yeah.
is feeling a little pumped right now.
I would hope so. I'd be a little disappointed if she wasn't feeling a little full of herself, just a little.
Just a little.
Okay, so we will stop at this point with the short rest successfully completed, the ritual completed, the weird bloody summoning circle dispersed, and despite it being a short rest, we'll still go ahead and say when we come back next session, we'll figure out when that's going to be. You guys will be level 4.
Huzzah!
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
More hit points for me to get down to 1.
Yeah.
You have been a very good sponge for the group.
I shouldn't.
Much-
I shouldn't
much
be
appreciated.
tanking. I should not be tanking. I should not be tanking.
I mean, you're a dwarf. It's okay.
I know. I feel like I should be leading the way, but like, this isn't good. I need to be on point because I'm a ranger. But then it's like, well, now I'm stuck in the middle of this, and nobody can get past me, and I'm taking all this damage.
Corridors just suck.
They really do.
They are the hardest things to fight in.
Yeah.
Also, I
That's rough
misspoke earlier. It was not scale mail; it was splint mail. The armor that is currently strapped to Silverius's back.
And presumably has some kind of magic property as well. Oh, could we retroactively, I don't know if anybody would want to, would anybody want to sit with the armor for half an hour and lovingly stroke it or something?
Can I do that whilst I was...
Yeah, you could do that.
Okay.
It is adamantine splint mail. The effect of this armor is that anytime you are hit with a critical hit, it is reduced to a normal hit and does regular damage while you're wearing that armor. It also has that strange quality where it looks slightly frail and damaged and it kind of flakes off, but it still seems to retain its normal quality. It doesn't seem to be actually taking damage, but it looks like it's taking damage, and it looks like it's sort of like in bad repair. Once you spend some time with it, you realize, no, this is in really good condition. It's just this weird sort of... It's almost like a visual glitch, where it's trying to decay, but it can't because it's this actually very powerful dwarven-made magical armor.
I say we just strap it to Bardo before it's too late.
Unfortunately, I can't go to heavy either.
It doesn't matter, we'll still strap it to you.
Well, that's fair.
It does not require attunement. It's like a sort of a dull, darker grey than most of the armor you're probably wearing.
You know what the funny thing is with that is I feel like, or at least from what we've had of them so far, both Silverius and Cosette are kind of like sort of prim and proper with their armor, so I feel like they're gonna have an internal struggle.
Yeah, not interested.
Yeah. They're gonna be like, I know this would be good for me, but it's not very shiny, so I don't know.
Y'all should arm wrestle for it.
You can ponder it while you level up.
Hello again, Katie here. They finished again, and thank you very much for watching or listening. If you don't like watching or listening, then do the other one. Again, they tell me it's on YouTube, Apple, Spotify. What are these words? I don't understand. Anyway, apparently where you can get podcasts, that's where you can find more episodes. Aye. Thanks for watching, listening. We'll see you next time.